Welcome to a podcast by Kayleigh, the gateway to unlocking your unlimited potential. I'm creating an army of 6- and 7-figure makeup artists, and I want you to join me. In this podcast, I'm going to be crushing gatekeeping, opening the doors to the knowledge you need, and deep diving into the topics that can push us to the next level. Be prepared for epic guests and answers to the questions you have always wanted to know. No more small business, no more just a makeup artist. The beauty industry is a $250 billion industry, and you're in it. Let's get ready to open those gates. This is a podcast by Kayleigh. Today, I want to introduce you guys to Tina Derkse. Now, right now, I want you guys to just pause the podcast and go and take a look in the show notes and follow her if you don't know her on Instagram, because Tina is one of my personal favorite makeup artists of all time. In my eyes, Tina is up there with the greats like Makeup by Mario, Hung Van Gogh. She is up there. Her artistry is impeccable, and we are so lucky to be able to talk to her today. Tina is a makeup artist with over 20 years experience in red carpet and destination bridal. She's an extremely luxury makeup artist, and having spoke to her today on the podcast, I am just obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with the way she runs her business. I'm obsessed with the classiness and just the elegance that she brings to the game. And not only that, but I know you are going to fall in love with just her overall vibe. I don't think I've ever had anyone as calm, as articulate, as just damn nice as Tina on this podcast. She really is such a gem, and I felt so privileged to be able to talk to her. I had to cut so much fangirling out of this podcast, by the way, on both parts. Me and her have been such long-time followers and fans of each other. This was just such a long time coming. In today's episode, we talk all about how Tina got started in makeup over the course of her 20-year career, what took her from Amsterdam and Mac to Thailand and doing destination weddings, luxury, and I'm talking princesses, guys, princess brides, but also how she landed Cannes Film Festival, not one, not two, but 3 years in a row. This is a really unique opportunity to hear from somebody who regularly works with high value clients and who is bringing their expertise to the table. Please do bear with this conversation though, guys. There was a lot of tech issues. Thank you so much to Tina for bearing with those. There are some little crackles from Tina's mic. Just bear with them, because the knowledge, the goodness, the greatness that is in this podcast episode is well worth bearing with. You are going to love her. You're going to be obsessed with her. Please welcome the immaculate Tina Derkse. But would you mind kind of introducing yourself, who you are, where you work, what your speciality is, for listeners who don't know who you are?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me at your podcast. I have been listening to almost all of them, and I have been following you from the very start, and I'm so proud of you. So let me just get that off my chest first. Who am I? I am a makeup artist with 20 years in the beauty industry. But yeah, it's 20 years now, not being a makeup artist, but 20 years ever since I stepped my very first foot into beautician school. And ever since I've been doing beauty. So that is what I do. The reason why I started and where I come from as a makeup artist is, I think it's grown when I was a kid. I lived in a very small city in the Netherlands. There were only a few multicultural kids, and I was one of them. So being a brunette, brown eyes, having a mom from Thailand and a dad from the Netherlands made me quite unique. But as a child, children look at it like, oh, that's maybe a bit weird. There were a lot of children that had like blonde hair, blue eyes, like very white kids, I would say at that time. Can I say it like that?
Yeah. That's like what they are. It's what we are.
Right? But I never put myself into any corners. But children, they can be quite harsh. So I was always the last one chosen. And yeah, when I grew up, I went to secondary school, and there everything turned around. There I was admired for my looks, like being heavy, being different. Like the people there, like the kids there, they really admired me for that reason. And then I figured that the way people, how they see you is how they will treat you. How you show up for the world, that is how they will respect you. That made me realize that I wanted to be able to continue taking care of myself. So I went to beautician school. I learned everything from head to toe to be able to like show up beautifully all the time. And having this knowledge and having this gift of beauty, like all that major knowledge, I wanted to give this to other women in the world too. So that's how I grew into beauty, basically. And a few years later, I went to the capital city of the Netherlands, Amsterdam. There is where basically my journey started as a makeup artist. So obviously I went to makeup school as well. I started as a freelancer. That time and era, there was no social media. There was no easy way to find a photographer because like as a newbie at that time, nobody wants to work with you. Everyone was more established. So everyone wants to work with someone in the same level of skill. Whilst nowadays, it's very easy to just jump on Instagram and find a photographer or make your own photos, make your own lookbook on your social media. And at that time I couldn't. So I just went to Amsterdam and explored the world of a freelancer. Then I was requested to be a part of MAC Cosmetics, went into the event team, became a manager there, and I got so much experience at that time. At that time at MAC Cosmetics, it was the most popular beauty brand, like makeup brand in the world. It was crazy loud and there was so much to learn within that company. So I think there, like in these years, I've grown so much as a makeup artist. After I was invited by Charlotte Tilbury to become her senior lead makeup artist in the Netherlands. And that was at the very beginning of the brand, which was very cool because I got to work with her in person. I did so many events. It was really like working behind the scenes of so many things. And yeah, that's how I grow into my makeup journey so far. And 5 years ago, I stopped working for everybody and I just started working as an independent makeup artist. I moved to Thailand, where my mom comes from. And yeah, ever since, I feel like I'm living my second life. It's a new, new journey, and which I'm very proud of, if you can say that.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. No idea you were a Mac girl, fellow Mac girl unite.
Yes, I was an OG at MAC back in the days.
I loved like that golden era. Obviously, Amsterdam to Thailand is a real difference in culture, architecture, everything, makeup style. What made you go to Thailand? Was it just that you had family connections or was there a deeper reason?
I always felt that when I came to Thailand almost every year from my very young age. Obviously, because my mom is from Thailand and we just want to visit here. It always felt very at home for me. So I always knew that someday I'm going to move here. But being in the Netherlands, it gave me so many opportunities that every time I wanted to leave, there was something that comes up, like being in the event team at MAC Cosmetics, like the pro artists, like how many artists get this huge opportunity, especially at that time, to be within their event team. And that's why it took a little longer for me to go to Thailand. Every time I'm here, it just like I love it so much. And I always knew that once I would move here, I would become successful. Like that was maybe something that was just in my gut.
Sometimes places have like a magnetic pull, don't they? Like I feel very magnetically pulled to New York over the last few years. And I just feel like I have to be there. And I don't know why, but I feel like if I go there, something's going to happen. Did you have that feeling?
Oh, yes, I had that. But would you ever move there?
I would move to New York in a heartbeat, but it's my little dog and it's my boyfriend and it's visas. Absolutely. We're going to make it happen. Just watch this space, Tina. Watch this space. So obviously moving to Thailand, what did your business look like at that point?
I didn't had a single connection in Thailand. So I just moved with my skill set, my makeup brushes, my makeup kit. And obviously my mom and dad at that time moved here too. So I lived in with them. And I just went for it, and I started to connect with, I was looking into Instagram and finding makeup artists, it girls, models, magazines. Like I tried to really connect with whoever was there, and whoever I could connect with, that was very important to do. And I would definitely recommend for everyone that wants to go and like try and explore a life somewhere else on the other side of the world. You really need to connect with people in the industry, and you might get no for so many times, but you will do yes so many times more. And for me, my mindset really, like in the first year, was say yes to everything, whatever comes up, if it's paid, if it's non-paid, if it's something that you might not like so much. I really said yes to everything that got to me. I found that with every yes there comes like, even if it's not paid, with every yes there comes another yes after, there comes another connection, and that will lead you to wherever you want to go to, or wherever the journey will lead you.
Love that advice. I feel like that's really important for new artists as well, because how do you find what you love if you don't say yes to trying lots of new things, you know, and meeting new people? I feel like I always tell people, say no when you're experienced, because, you know, there's a lot of exploitation out there. But if you're new, or you're new to an area, you should definitely say yes and grab the bull by the horns, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, you need to say yes to everything. I mean, to 99% of the things.
Yeah. There's some exceptions.
If it's right, it's really, really not suiting you, and if your gut is saying no, I mean, I've listened to your horror stories before, and like, if this ugly feeling comes up, it's better to do a no. But other than that, I would really recommend to say yes to anything.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit then about your bridal business. Kind of how many brides do you do a year? Who is your bride? And obviously, you're a destination artist. So could you tell us a little bit about what it is you do on that side of things?
Absolutely. Being in Thailand and being an international, so half of my career I spent in Europe, and therefore I am very much known for what Western clients, brides, what they love, how they communicate, how they receive service, etc., which is very opposite from in the eastern side of the world. Like here in Asian, it's very different how people approach each other and how they communicate with each other. And I really figured that this gap of makeup plus communication plus service, there is a huge gap that I could easily fill, because I have both. Like, I've been here my whole life. I have grown up with a Thai mother, so I have these like Asian culture in me, and also this Western side. So therefore, I try to catch the destination bride that wants to come to Thailand and beyond within Asia. There for these women who wants to have the best of the best for their wedding day. And again, I'm not saying that I'm the best, but you know what I've what I've said. And I just started doing photo shoots with other photographers that are also into the luxury space of destination weddings, try to make content with them, and I just put them out on my social media. And like, it's very, I would say, like, if you post enough, like if you use enough content, people will find you, and you just need to show up within that, like in that particular field.
Do you remember your first destination bride? Like, who was she?
My very first destination bride in Thailand or somewhere else in the world?
Somewhere else in the world. Like, you had to catch a flight to do them.
It might be Spain. Might have been Spain. That was my first one, in a very beautiful little Spanish castle-ish, like very beautiful. She rented the whole venue. I think that was my first. And my most impressive one, which is might even be my second, was a destination wedding in Bahrain, and it was a royalty. It was a princess for her wedding. That one was a huge thing for me.
Okay, I feel like we need to deep dive. Like, how did you do makeup on a princess? Like, where did this come from? Was it social media?
Yeah, I think so. So that year, it was during COVID, I went back to Europe to see my fiance at that time. He was still there, and I flew back for a few months, and I had the opportunity to do one of my clients at Cannes Film Festival for the red carpet. And these photos at Cannes Film Festival, they go kind of viral. So my photos, they went out there, and I got an email from a girl, and she just sent me a message like, hey, I want to do a bridal trial with you in Amsterdam. And I'm like, okay, but where are you getting married? Because I might not be here anymore, because she wanted to get married in the winter time and I was going back to Thailand. So I just mentioned like, I'm like, where are you located? And she said, yeah, I'm based in Bahrain. And I'm like, Bahrain, where's that? Like, is that a small village? I had no clue where Bahrain was. So I start Googling and I'm like, oh my God, that's the Middle East. And so I'm doing the trial and I had no idea who she was. So I went to her hotel, and her mom, I remember very, very clearly, her mom opened the door and she was wearing her yoga wear. She came just fresh out of the gym and I was like, hello, gorgeous. And little did I know that I was walking into royalties. So I had no idea. I was just being myself. And so I started doing their makeup, the girl first, and they really loved it. They already did a trial with someone else, and they were not too happy about it. And then they did a trial with me, and they loved it. And after I did the girl's makeup, I did her mom's makeup. And I was looking at the girl, and she was sitting so like princess like. She was so neat and so like well mannered. And I was thinking like, this girl, she looks like a princess of a movie, you know, that kind of vibe. And little did I know that she was an actual princess. So that was huge. That was a very special opportunity. I felt like a true VIP. I felt like a royalty. They took care of me so well. It was like one to remember.
Oh my goodness, incredible. And I feel like that's kind of become, like, from my perspective, a theme of your career is you work on some really big things. Like you said, you would go to Cannes almost every year, right?
Every year, 3 years in a row now. This year, I'm not sure. I always hear it very last minute, and we'll see about this year. But 3 years in a row, yes. And I love it so much.
So what would you say, because there's going to be a lot of young artists listening to this who these are like their dreams. They, you know, I actually held a goal setting workshop in the Level Up Club the other night, and we all did a vision board together, and I saw so many red carpets and destination brides on mood boards. So there's going to be a lot of people listening who are like keen to follow in your footsteps, Tina. So what would you say to them? How do you go about getting these opportunities?
I would say show up. Be the best at what you do. Find the right people, like find your, even like wherever you live, there are people that might be singers or it girls or models that are might be a little bit more famous. Just reach out to them. I've sent messages to here in Thailand to people that are actresses or very famous people, and I just send them a message like, "Hey, I'm Tina, and like a little bit of my background." And then I said, like, I would love to do your makeup. If there is any opportunity, please have a look at my profile, and if you love it, I'm be happy to come over to you and do your makeup for you to try it out. And luckily, I had a few that just say yes, I would love that. And I think that to catch your own clients, like the faces that you think you can, like that will be suitable for your skill set, just reach out to them and say to them that you would love to do their makeup. And even if it's for free, just do it. And from all these things that you're doing, they know other people, just rolls and rolls. And there might be an opportunity then that they have a huge event and you've done that makeup for them and they adored it so much. And then there is that red carpet coming up, and then they're like, okay, like Tina did my makeup, or whoever baby makeup artist did their makeup, and they love it so much. And then they will book you for that event. And also, you never know where people lead to in their life. Sometimes, like I know girls that I've done makeup for a few years ago, and now they're huge in whatever they were doing. So everyone is growing, right? So you never know where even that girl that is a model and she's still a bit not so known or not so famous, but she's having a lot of potential. Try to grow with them and then seek out together for that huge opportunity.
I think that's excellent advice. In fact, everything you've said is excellent advice. It's really funny that you said that because I worked with like a smallish model, maybe 2021. And the other day I was scrolling TikTok and I saw her on TikTok. She does funny little dances with her friend, and they pretend to be miserable while they're doing these dances. She has like 1 million TikTok followers, probably more.
Really?
And I was like, I did her makeup like years ago.
See? So if you are able to do her makeup and then just stick with her, and then she blows up, and then there comes a moment that she will think of you for sure, and that she will bring you to whatever special occasion she has, because now she has 1 million followers. Maybe in another 3 years she will have 10 million, and she will go also on the red carpet, and then she thinks of you, and then there you have your red carpet moment.
Your red carpet moment. That's it. Absolutely. Also, going back to what you said about putting yourself out there, like messaging the it girls, messaging people whose style you would really align with. I think that is so important. When I think about the guests that I've had on, you included now, Tina, the ones who have made it, like the ones who are killing it, are the ones who took control of the opportunity and have gone out there and have said to themselves, I'm not going to sit here and wait. I'm not going to sit here and wait for somebody to stumble across me. I'm going to go out there and grab it. And I would say you're telling me that is exactly what you did. You went out there, you were so proactive. Would you say that without doing that, you wouldn't be where you are now?
No, definitely not. You really need to. Like, the thing is, if you don't share it with the right person, like, who knows? They don't know. Like, if I'm like staying at home and I'm not doing anything, nobody knows that I am a talented makeup artist. Nobody knows who you are, and like nobody knows. And also, you can't grow when you don't get yourself out there and don't connect. I think it's very important, if you're a freelancer, if you're an independent makeup artist, if you want to grow into a career that you can really provide for yourself, then it's very important that you like do the work. I think a lot of people are maybe scared to reach out to someone because it might be awkward. But I feel like in this time and age, with all the social media, you don't even need to look the other person in the eyes. Like, it's just a message. If they don't respond, well, then next. Like, like, and don't be disappointed when they don't respond or when it's a no. I think a lot of people might don't have the time to respond, or they are already occupied with so many other things, or they have their own makeup artist already and they're just not interested. But that doesn't mean that it's a no forever to everyone. It only means that you will grow in your confidence to reach out to people, and the next one might be a yes, and the next one after might be another yes, and then 10 yes after, people will reach out to you, and you will find your ideal client, and they will find you, more importantly.
Yes. And then you'll be at Cannes Film Festival, living your best life. Can we talk a little bit about the red carpet side of things? I've never had a red carpet artist on, so I would love to talk to you about that. Is it as glamorous as people say? Is it really fast paced? Like, what do artists need to know about this particular niche?
I would say that it really also depends on your red carpet client. But from my experience, my clients have always have a very, very packed schedule during Cannes Film Festival, because they're not only doing red carpet, like the whole fashion world is there. All the huge photographers, celebrities, models, designers, whoever in the industry is big, they are there, meaning that everyone wants to connect with each other. And that said, during the day before they need to go onto the red carpet, they be running around. Some might need an extra dress, or they want to change the dress. And then there's this gap that makeup and hair needs to be done. And I always try to share to my client that I very much need the time to give them the best look to go on the red carpet. So I feel that I need to protect my skill set, because if I can do it in 30 minutes, I can easily do a makeup in 30 minutes, but it will not be the same quality as if it will be if I have more time. It will just not be the same. And I remember, like, half of my career, I was always very insecure about me being not the fastest makeup artist. I always felt like reading into other makeup artists like, oh, just 60-minute makeup. And I'm like, I can't do it in 60 minutes. I just can't. And now, knowing what I can offer in my skill set, I'm not shy to say that I need 2 hours. And for red carpet, if it's very busy, sometimes we start in the morning, just do the preparation, and then we later on like do the touch up and finish off the look. So that is like, you need to be very flexible around these clients. That is how it went with me. And then also for the look that you're creating, it comes back to sharing the story. Like, what is she wearing? Who is the designer? What kind of vibe does she wants to translate into the red carpet? Do you want to create a new trend? Like, do you want to do something fun, or do you want to just something that is very glamorous or natural? Like, it really needs to represent the client. And most importantly, if you're doing a red carpet client, I would say the client really, really, really needs to look like herself. You cannot transform her into another person. You cannot copy the same look that you're doing for every client that you're doing, or for every bride that you're doing. You really need to have your own signature for that specific client to create the best look of her dreams, and that she feels confident to go onto the red carpet. And having your work at the red carpet is maybe your most exciting and most nerve-breaking moment, because there are so many cameras going on there and you can't do wrong. Like, we've all seen them, those huge celebrities like back in the days, and then there was like baking going on their faces, and you see those white patches on their skin. Like, you don't want that to happen within your makeup, because I feel like in this like era, like people cancel you in a second. So you need to work it. Like, you need to be very, very precise at what you're doing, and it needs to be great on camera, like excellent on camera. It needs to be good in person. That would be my most advice for like baby makeup artists that want to go to the red carpet makeup side.
Yeah. What's the Bangkok scene like? Like, what's the makeup there like? Is there, because I know nothing about it. Like, is it thriving?
Yes, very much. Bangkok is one of the biggest capital cities in the world. It's very, very, very busy, like so much traffic. That might also be the number one most annoying thing here. Everything else is fabulous, but traffic is horrible, along with the pollution that comes with it. But like as I said, everything else is absolutely amazing. And then makeup-wise, Thai women, they love to get their makeup done for every event. So there's a lot of makeup artists, a lot of hairstylists, and I would say a lot of women out here, they love either more the Korean side style makeup or the Western style makeup. They even have a name like Sai4 or Sai-Ka. So it's like the type of makeup style. And then there's also more Thai style, which is like a bit in between, I would say. And when I came to Thailand, for me, it was very challenging. I was like, do I need to do that style more? Because that is what offered there. But my own signature is very much different and very Western style. And then I figured that if you have your own style, you just need to keep up with that. And even if that means that you will have less clients, it will not mean that there's no client for you. Style-wise, you need to really, like, even if it means that you'll have non-clients at the beginning or very little amount of clients, you just need to bring your own look and people will find you because they will admire your style. You just need to be consistent and persistent with it. And obviously, living in a capital city of the world, there are a lot of people traveling here. So a lot of foreigners coming into Thailand, meaning that there will be enough foreigners plus Thai people to do makeup for. So I would say yes, the industry here is very big.
This podcast is brought to you by the Level Up Club, my monthly membership for makeup artists. Imagine a place created with done-for-you monthly resources and coaching, literally everything you need to create and scale a profitable, thriving makeup business. Well, it exists, and it's called the Level Up Club. I am so proud of this membership. I literally poured my heart and soul into it. Inside, you will find monthly Canva templates, monthly stock images, social media calendars, email templates, workflows, pro program lists, agency lists, monthly coaching and conversations with the people who can help smash gatekeeping. I'm talking agency owners, PRs, top makeup artists and experts. They're all inside. And not only that, but monthly in-person events. We have already held portfolio days, headshot days, branding days, and so much more is coming. The club is taking the mystery out of making money. Your makeup business doesn't have to be make-believe, and I'm showing you how. And guess what? It's only £30 a month. In London, that's literally 2 hot chocolates. I'm not even kidding. So come and join us, the only membership I promise you'll ever need. Now, back to the pod. So obviously you've had a very long career with loads and loads of highs, like Cannes and all the destination brides. Have there been, kind of deep question, but have there been any lows? Like what have been kind of your biggest challenges over the course of your career? Because I bet some artists are currently going through them too.
So this was my biggest learning ever. So I moved to Thailand and I was here for 4.5 months. And I got my very first well-paid job. It was for a photo shoot. I was hired. Someone really loved my work. I was living with my mom and dad at the countryside. So I had to travel to Bangkok and stay there overnight. And it was my birthday. So in the morning, I woke up being in Thailand at this place where I always wanted to live, where I always wanted to restart my career. And I was waking up there. I was even crying like, oh my God, I have my first paid job. Like how amazing is it that I was so grateful for that moment. And then in Thailand, it's in April. It was in April. So in April, it's the hottest season of the year. And we had a job and there was a room and the room was not so big. There was air conditioning, but the windows were open for the lighting as well. And we were going in and out the room constantly. So the room is very much heating up. And obviously coming from the Netherlands, I'm not used to that amount of heat. And also having my first paid job in Thailand, you don't want to mess up. There's a lot of pressure on you. There was a lot of pressure on me to do my best performance. And I remember that there was a salad ordered for me and I didn't want to eat directly because I wanted to stay with them on set. And on set was outside at the pool. And so I eat the salad later on. So it was standing there for a few hours, I believe. And so after maybe 4 hours in the day, I became so unwell, really became sick. And I had to leave the room to, if I want to say like things that I didn't want to do in front of the client. And it was horrible. So I had to go back into the room and do her makeup and then going out and in and out and in and out. And she knew I didn't feel well, but I still wanted to do my best performance. So I made it through the makeup and they were going outside again shooting and she knows that I didn't feel well. And luckily, the person who booked me for that job was also the model at that job. So, and she was like, oh, just stay in the room and just hang out here. And so they were leaving the room, but the room was still too hot because like too many people in one small room during the hot season with the windows open, like the air conditioning could just not control it. And also having this salad, which might have been there for too long and eaten it. Well, at the end of the day, I ended up in the hospital with a heat stroke. Yes. So that was very, very intense. And I remember at that time, for me, that was the biggest gift I've ever had in my life, meaning that from that day on, I was like, I always need to put myself out first. I need to take care of myself first. If I would have stand up for myself, I would have suggested to book another room where I could just do my makeup with the model, even if I had to book the room myself, but just to be in a cool room, in an environment that was more controllable for me at that time, I would have probably not ended up in the hospital and would not have that experience. But it's I'm very grateful that I had that. It was just a warning for me for whatever the future had to bring for me here in Thailand. And the client is still booking me, so that's good news.
Good. Oh my God. Those are like the dream clients when you're poorly or something happens and then they're really nice about it. Oh, they're the good ones.
She's still like, every time she's still like, oh, my sister, I want to book you. And up till now, 5 years later. So very, very happy that, that she still does that.
Oh, bless you. That should be a horror story.
Yes, it very much was.
One thing you've spoken about a couple of times that I've kind of picked up on that I really actually would like to talk about is standing up for yourself. You said at Cannes, it was really important that you used your voice to talk about, I need this amount of time. And, you mentioned just then you wish you had used your voice. And this is something that I'm really passionate about because I feel like as artists, as women, I guess, society kind of tells us not to use our voice because otherwise it's impolite or it's, not girly, it's not feminine. But I think it's really important, especially in your line of work where it's kind of very high profile. You need to use your voice on set. You need to use your voice. You need to say like, this is isn't going to work. This is what I need to do the best job possible. How did you become comfortable speaking up for yourself?
I think that it came with experience. I would never have done this in the past. Like I was always very and I still am I have a very huge respect level towards other people. And I am very, an energy receiver. So I can clearly feel the room. And I think that's also, as a makeup artist, very, very important that you can feel what's going on and shift your personality or your energy to what is going on, and always try to be very calm. And I think growing older and being more experienced, you will get more respect in a way, which allows you to feel comfortable about saying things that will be important for you. But if it's about health-wise, you just need to show up for yourself. You need to think like, okay, if I'm not showing up, it means that I'm going to be unwell. What do you do? Also, I think it's good to step into the mind of what would the other person, how would she react? If I would be a model or a producer and the makeup artist is really not feeling well because the room is too hot, I would be like, oh girl, let's help her out. Let's get another room. We want her to feel comfortable. And if that person is not able to work with that or respect that you dare to mention it, I think if that means that you will lose the job, then that is what it is. You don't need to be rude when you explain something, but you can show up for yourself. And I think that is just something that's very important to do. But it's also, I understand that it's very difficult, especially when you're younger, towards older people, towards men in the industry. It's especially into fashion, it's a very fast industry. It's quite cold pressed. I'm not sure if I say that the right way, but it's very much about the result rather than about the experience. That for me is also why I'm not that much into fashion anymore. I've done that in the past, but I really love to have a very nice environment to work in. So that is also, it really depends on your own personality. If you're very vibrant and you're very energetic and you want to be within this vibrant atmosphere that a lot is going on, and if you're younger and you can really cope with that, then it's a very good space to be in. I think it's good to, when you find your ideal job or your ideal client, that it suits also your personality. I think that is very important. And then if you feel safe within that environment because it's a safe space for you, then you will be able to request for whatever comes into your mind and to step out for yourself.
I think back to baby Kayleigh when she was working on some big jobs, and how I was such a little mouse, and I loved that little mouse. But gosh, I would have saved myself a lot of headache and maybe low-key trauma if I had just spoken up, because at the end of the day, I was being paid to do that. We are being paid to give an opinion on that lipstick. If the producer is saying this has actually happened, she asked for a really horrible pink to be put on the model for a big commercial shoot. And I actually stepped in and said, I don't think that's going to translate. Maybe we try this. And that's what we're paid to do. And you're totally right when you said you can be polite and kind and still be firm and the expert. And as long as I think you articulate it with, I don't think that will work because of this.
And you're the professional, we are the professionals. Yes, exactly. And being I understood also later in, we are the professional. You cannot expect from a producer to have skills in makeup or to have this professional side. They're just doing as they think they do. They have a vision maybe for makeup, and that might be totally different from what we see as a professional. And it's okay to give our recommendation or our professional eye on it. That said, even if the client then still wants it, I'm okay, whatever you want. I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to do whatever you like. And sometimes you need to think is this a job that is just for the money? Or is this a job that is for your content? Or is it something that is so awesome that it is for both? I think that is where you always need to see wherever the job fits. If it fits none, it might not be your job.
Absolutely. They don't have to take that advice. I wish they would sometimes, but if they don't take your advice, like you gave it. Oh, do you have time for a game? This is a game called Smashing the Gates. It's an anti-gatekeeping game. So I'm going to ask you just some quick fire questions, and they're designed to just smash open the gates of gatekeeping that hold women back from achieving their dreams. How does that sound?
Wonderful. Sounds fabulous. Let's do it.
So I've got so many here, so I'm going to try and pick like 5. Okay, this is one that I know everybody loves this question. You're on a desert island. You can only take one makeup kit product with you. What is the kit product that you cannot live without?
Oh my God. My makeup kit product that I cannot live without. That's a very, very difficult one. The one product that I love to use on every client is the Hollywood filter from Charlotte Tilbury. It gives just such a beautiful glow into the skin. Like, I love to use that product. So that one will definitely go with me. And furthermore, it might be a lipstick that I can use on the eyes, on the blush, on the lips, like a multi-product that I can use for several, maybe something like that. But it's like, it's not an 100% option, because I cannot choose. Like, to be really honest, I could not pick. I don't have a favorite foundation for that glow, because the reason why is that I use so many products to really build that 3-dimensional skin. And that doesn't come from one foundation. It really comes from placing different finishes to different parts of the face. That's really what I do. But I really work with several finishes onto the skin, and it all comes down to the amount of pressure that you do. I can use any foundation, and by the way I would apply it, by the pressure that I use, by the product that I use under it, the amount of product that I place, I think you can really create everything that you want, no matter which foundation you would take.
I love that answer. I feel like that answer is like a true artist answer. Okay, this comes from, I believe, and you can totally correct me if you're wrong here, but I believe your brand is very like luxury. I feel like you've got a very like luxury service. You've got a luxury kit. You've got a luxury like aura. So what tips do you have for makeup artists that are looking to step into the luxury space?
I would recommend to have an understanding about what luxury means to you and also to your clients. For an artist that is just beginning and has never met anyone who is a high profile client, has never stepped any foot into a luxury boutique, it's very difficult to get into luxury, because I think it all comes down to what happens, what is the expectation from this high profile client. I would suggest to go into maybe a luxury hotel, have some tea over there, and see how the experience is. Like, how do they serve you? How do they welcome you? How does it smell in there? How do they hand the bill, or how do they say their goodbye? What is the food or drinks that you're consuming there? And not only in these luxury hotels, but maybe also go to a Chanel boutique and see how the experience will be in that type of environment. For me, it was really like I feel that I that is also my atmosphere that I am living in. Like, I love luxury. I love to be surrounded by luxury. I am a Taurus for my horoscope, and that is like, we are known for loving luxury and loving beautiful things in life. And I think having a great understanding of what that includes, that will show in your work and your skill set and the service that you're bringing. You need to really have an understanding. And also, what I would also very much want to share is that the discreetness that you need to have and the calmness that you need to have to be able to work in that luxury field. You cannot be too bubbly, not gossipy. You really need to feel the room and see how the other person is responding. It's so much more than just building a beautiful luxury makeup kit, saying I'm a luxury makeup artist. It's so much more than that. Show up as your beautiful best self. Even if you don't feel well, you need to show up like all the time. I think that is what, to me, I would say luxury includes.
I could not agree more with every single point you made. I actually put out an Instagram post the other day that talked a little bit about luxury, and I got a tiny bit of heat for it because I said one of the points is, if you are stepping into the luxury space, you need to dress you don't have to dress luxury. I'm not saying deck out in Gucci, but you need to dress up the part. You need to dress the part. You need to show up for yourself, and you need to look chic and polished and put together. What would you agree? And you can completely disagree with me, by the way, but would you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%. You need to show up. You need to be polished, head to toe, and definitely not in designer. Like, you don't need to buy yourself like €1,000 outfit. It doesn't make sense. You will spill your makeup on it, and your $1,000 dress will be ruined. Like, that is not what we mean when we say we need to dress up luxury. Just make sure everything is clean, it's ironed, it looks good, it suits the environment. Wherever I go, like, for example, if I do destination weddings, I know in the makeup industry, we tend to wear black all the time because it's a very appropriate color. It's also a discreet color. But to me, if I go to luxury destination weddings, I don't want to show up in black. I want to show up in the color theme that they're having, or I'm wearing neutral shades, light shades, because I feel there are so many photos taken, videos taken. And if I'm sitting there with the bride, she's in white and I'm sitting there in the darkness, it's very contrasting. And if I would have my wedding photos and there's sitting someone who's totally dressed in black or in jeans, that to me doesn't show any bridal or luxury. But if I have a job that is at 4 a.m. at night and is just for someone who's going to an event, like, I don't mind to not show up as like the most beautiful outfit. Like, it can be a little bit more casual. It's just like really knowing where you go to and knowing, what is expected a little bit from you. And also I've heard from my brides, like, I go with my team, other makeup artists, then we'll do the guest of the wedding. I have my hairstylist, and I always give a dress code. So we are all wearing the same color palette. I have a beautiful brush on the chest that, like, we have it all. So it really gives a clean, beautiful look. And I always be complimented. Like, we always get compliments on how we show up. And I think that's a very extra thing to do, but it's a very much appreciated thing by your brides.
It does matter what you look like to a certain extent in the luxury field. When you go in high-end hotels, like I went to the Ritz the other day for afternoon tea, and the people there who are working, they're polished, they're tailored, they look the part, they blend in really nicely. And I think it's just a different energy in that space. The little bit of heat that I got on that post was people were saying, well, I don't want to dress up. And that might mean that the luxury space maybe isn't necessarily for you, because I go to weddings and I'm wearing like a jumpsuit, I'm wearing like boots. I dress because my ideal client is very like East London and edgy and, like a little bit out there. I think you've just got to dress for how you're, one, comfortable, but also the industry and the ideal client that you're going for. And if that sounds bad to you, if you don't want to look like tailored and polished, and if that sounds very uncomfortable, then don't. It's all good. There's no right or wrong.
And then there is also, you might, like, if you don't feel comfortable in that space, and also to do that, it might not be your field. It might not be your ideal client. It might not be the exact niche in that industry. There's so much, there's room for everyone. And in every field, there's someone needed. Like, I totally understand if I would be totally dressed up and I'm going to someone who is totally opposite from that, people might be intimidated if you're like too much when it's not the right environment. If you're so dressed up and they're totally not that type of client or totally not that type of environment, and you're like so chic and everything, they might be like a little bit like overwhelmed.
Absolutely. I think the main thing from this bit is you got to match the energy. You got to match the energy of whatever you're going for. If you're going for luxury, you do have to match that energy.
And also, I would say makeup wise, because that's also a very important thing, because I know as makeup artists, a lot of us are very creative with our own makeup. And if we're going to a luxury client, we cannot show up with full full caked on makeup with like 6 different kind of eyeshadows in different rainbow colors. If I would be the one who's getting married, I would be like, what the hell? Like, so even makeup wise, you need to really read the room.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, Tina, I feel like you need to do like a course or a masterclass on this, because I think you're the perfect person to do it. I think you nail the luxury market in a way that's so classy and not like intimidating either. You suit it so much. Okay, we have a couple more. This turned into not so quick fire. What is your favorite like podcast, or do you have like a favorite book that you would recommend for those who are just looking to better themselves?
Oh, I love your podcast. Let's say this first of all, for makeup artists that are just beginning, but even like me being in the industry for so long, I love to hear all these stories about other makeup artists in the industry and all these other experts in the industry. I think it's always great to get other experts in the field and also to hear what they are experiencing. And like, there's so much to learn from that. And furthermore, I love to listen to, I believe it's called Meet the CEO.
Stephen Bartlett?
Yes, that's the guy. He's also from London, I believe.
He is. My bucket list goal is to have mine like next to his on the charts.
Oh, yes. That would be amazing. Yeah, he's really good. Like, that is one that I barely skip. He has such amazing guests on his podcast, and in every industry, like, he really reaches out to all the experts, and the topics are usually what I really love. That said, I believe as a makeup artist, it's so much more than just doing makeup. It's also how you carry yourself, how you take care of your health, about what you eat, what you drink, how you sleep, how every aspect in your life. And within these podcasts, there's so much around these topics that you can learn from and that you can implement in your life to grow into the best version of yourself. So that is one that I would highly recommend.
Couldn't agree more. I love that one. I'm quite behind on it at the moment, but I really like it. He's got great guests. Okay, final question then. What are you currently manifesting? Would you mind telling us something that you've got planned, or a celebrity that you would love to work with, or a red carpet that you haven't done yet that you'd love to do? Would you mind sharing?
I would say the Met Gala. I feel that I've done every aspect as a makeup artist that is possible, except from the red carpet at the Met Gala. That one I would manifest, but I also realize that I'm at the total opposite of the world. So to get a client there might be very challenging. And then furthermore, I'm working on my new website launch that is coming very soon. It's called thebridalchapter.com. And with that website, I aim to be the #1 luxury bridal beauty services for destination weddings in Asia and beyond. And by that, I just want to fill that gap and to be that gate for all the international brides in this part of the world. I will probably in the future need to grow my team, but I really want to make a difference from the current market towards more the style that I do, and then just to bring out the best of all. So that is coming, and I'm really manifesting that my aim will be out there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. That sounds, and what an incredible name, The Bridal Chapter. That's so
Thank
cool.
you. Right?
Well done on that name. One thing that I'm manifesting for you, Tina, and I've got 2 things. One thing I'm manifesting is I would love to see you. I just think people are going to fall in love with you on this episode. And I think you've got that personality that the industry really needs, where you're really loving and nurturing and classy and intelligent. And I think we need more educators like you in the space. So I would love to see you kind of step into that side of things and like educating baby artists. And my second manifestation for you is, I know I'm the biggest Blackpink fan of all time.
I think I know where you're going to.
My favorite member is Lisa. So if you could ever do, because she's Thai, if you could ever do Lisa's makeup, I'm manifesting her for you, because you would do such a good job.
Oh gosh, yeah, I would love that. Like, we are manifesting that too. She's, I think she's the most famous Thai person currently. She's so big. She's on all the billboards here with all these brands that she's collaborating with. So she's really, really huge. So yes, it would be great to do her makeup someday. And your other manifestation education. I am actually doing classes. I do educate other makeup artists. I do educate a lot of women within their makeup journey. Women that don't know how to do their own makeup, I educate them how to, whatever they need to learn to do their own makeup. Other makeup artists that come to me, and I'm doing these workshops with them. So they are like, it's very much hands-on. So I'm doing that. But as you're saying, I really need to bring it out there and bring it bigger, because I have so much to offer, as you say. And I'm very grateful that you reckon that needs to be shared. And that's also why I offered, not offered, but that's why I told you, like, oh, I'm happy to help you out with one of your, from the Level Up Club, like to be one of the experts coming in there and like do a Q&A or whatsoever. Because being in the industry for so long, there's so much knowledge to share. And we've been chatting for over an hour, and like there's still so much more that I know and that others can learn from. And I feel as a makeup artist, I mean, we can do this for another 100 years, but it comes to a point that we just want to shift over to more education, and little by little just bringing our magic over to other baby artists, and for them to grow and like continue this art that we are bringing into the world. That might be the biggest way and the only way for our art that we have created, our signature style, our services, to have that into the world, and not for just the time that we are here, but just to forever.
My heart feels so full right now. I don't know about yours, but mine feels so full. I feel like I've wanted to have this conversation for so long with you. So thank you so much, Tina. Would you mind telling everybody where they can find you?
Absolutely. So my Instagram handle is Tina_Derkse, which you might need to tag into it. It's very Dutch. So that is my Instagram handle. Same for TikTok. I have my website, which is Savour by Tina. It's actually the website that I made from back in the days when I was doing influencing a little bit more, and I just kept the website name. And then the bridal chapter is coming soon. I very much hope to launch it this month, and otherwise next month.
I've so loved our conversation today. Thank you so much for bearing with our little tech issues. I think it's going to be honestly such a valuable one, and I cannot wait for my community, if they don't know who you are already, to absolutely fall in love with you.
Thank you so much, Kayleigh, for having me here. So for everyone that doesn't know me, feel welcome to reach out to me. I'm always happy to get to know more people in the industry, and I'm always very welcoming and kind. And so thank you very much.
You have been listening to a podcast by Kayleigh. Thank you so much for tuning in today and being on this mission with me to self-improvement and taking steps towards financial empowerment. If you liked what you heard today, be sure to follow me on the gram @ByKayleigh_podcast, where I post pretty much daily. I would also love to hear your thoughts, feedback, and energy. So please do leave me a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you are listening today. In the meantime, I want you to go forward, believe in yourselves, and be the change you want to see. Bye, guys.